Okay, folks, hi there. This is Kim Willis. I've got another lesson for you today. This one is about email subject lines. All right. Now, before the advent of the internet, we didn't have email, did we? So when people were selling stuff, they'd send out a sales letter, for instance, or they'd run an advertisement in a newspaper or a magazine or something like that, and right at the top of that ad, right at the top of that sales letter would be a headline. Okay. Now, old style marketers will tell you that the headline is the single most important element in the ad. And things haven't really changed that much with the advent of the increase in the popularity of the internet. The headline is still critically important. Although there are some who, Facebook marketing type practitioners who say that, oh no, if you're running an ad on Facebook, the most important element is the photograph. Okay, well maybe it is, but look, the headline in most instances is still right up there. It's number one. Why? Because it attracts people's attention. It's the first thing that they see. So if that's the first thing that they see, you want to make sure that it's kind of compelling. Because if it's not compelling, well, guess what? They're not going to read the rest of the message. They're just going to click off. Now, in the email marketing world, we don't call them headlines, we call them subject lines, don't we? So, but it's the same thing, all right? So somebody gets an email from you, the first thing that they're going to see will be the subject line. Now, at that point, they've got to decide, make a decision as to whether they're going to open that email and read it. So the subject line becomes critically important. Now, there is one other factor in terms of determining whether that person is more likely to open your email or not, and that is to do with the relationship that they have with you. If there's a kind of a respect thing happening, well, it's more likely that they're going to open the email, isn't it? If they don't respect you, if they see you or perceive you as being just another marketer, well, it's less likely that they're going to open the email, no matter how good your subject line is. That said, a great subject line can go a long way to enticing people to open your email, even if they think you're a bit of a dork. All right? And you only need a flow of good subject lines in your email series to completely change the way people think about you. Okay? So if you've, up until now, let's say up until you've digested this lesson, you have been sending them out a series of emails with boring subject lines. Well, their impression of you is going to go down. However, as a result of watching this video and implementing what I say, if you do it properly, chances are their perception of you is going to be improved. And if that is the case, you're going to have more people opening your emails. So it is so important, and that is why I work on my email subject lines. I think about them, even when I'm in a flap, even when I'm super busy, I've got so many other things on the boil, on the go, I really can't be bothered coming up with a, clever or catchy subject line. Usually, not always, because sometimes it just gets away from me and I just think up some sort of dopey subject line, knowing full well that it's going to cost me. But if I'm under the gun, under the pump, I need to get this email out and I don't have the time to be creative, I'm probably going to do it anyway. But I try and avoid it. Now, what I've got here for you today is I'm in my Aweber back office and I'm not looking at anything else other than subject lines. So look at the one at the top there. Traffic jam leaves me in a pickle. Now what on earth is that about? Well, that's about a story that I actually captured on video, and I wrote about the story, and I decided it was about me being in a traffic jam in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. I was sitting in a tuk-tuk. I normally don't go out in the afternoon because it's too hot and the traffic is bad, no question about it. And because I live I'm living the laptop lifestyle. I don't have a job. I don't have a boss to report to. So I can do this. I have the freedom to leave my apartment when I feel like it. And it's usually in the evening when it's getting a little bit cooler. I can do that. But on this occasion, I did have an appointment and I needed to leave in the afternoon. And coming home, I encountered a major problem, and it was called the daily commute. And so it was a major traffic jam, so I did record a bit of that, put it on email, put it in the email, put it on my blog as well. And I thought, okay, what's the heading going to be? What's the subject line going to be? I wanted to think of something a little bit catchy. And this is where sometimes it can really work well if you come up with a headline that's kind of amusing. Okay, so that's the first type of headline. That's the first type of subject line that you can create. So traffic jam leaves me in a pickle. A play on words. People like that. A play on words. Okay, so there's one example. That's the humorous subject line. Here's another one. This next one is an example of a subject line that is a little bit provocative. So the next technique is provocation. First technique, humor. Second technique, provocation. Sales funnels to die for. Okay, well that's a challenging phrase all by itself, but it's when I take it to the next level. When I take it to the next level and add some more words and put them in parentheses, that's when things start to get interesting. It becomes a little bit more provocative. So, sales funnels to die for. Which one converts like a Baptist preacher? All right. Now, this may indeed offend a few people because maybe they're Baptists. Not designed to offend, but look, the reality is that sometimes you just got to step on some toes to get to the destination. So provocation can work really well. It can encourage people to open the email. All right. Sales funnels to die for. Which one converts like a Baptist preacher? Let's look at the next one. Secret sauce success ingredient. Use it and watch your income zoom. All right, secret sauce. All right. So this is using curiosity. That's the next technique. Secret sauce. Now, people use the word secret all the time. Marketers use the word secret all the time. And you'd think that the public, the punters, would get sick of it and they'd wise up to it and never respond when they see the word secret or secret sauce. But what I found is when I use the word secret, or the words secret sauce, hits the spot. I don't do it every week. I might do it once a month, once every 2 months sometimes. But secret sauce success ingredient. So that's curiosity, using curiosity. So we've got humor, we've got provocation, we've got curiosity. Hope you're getting something out of this. These are the sorts of tips and strategies that my students pay a lot of money to learn. So I'm giving you a little bit of a sneak preview here. I'm not going to show them all to you, but I'm just giving you a little bit. Quick cash and long-term sustainable income, why you need both. All right, well, this is really just a classic make money type headline. It's all about promising a benefit, promising a benefit that will lead to a gain. Okay, quick cash and long-term sustainable income, why you need both. All right, so what are we promising here? Quick cash is always a good one. What's that? Well, people love the idea of quick cash, but then I balance it up with long-term sustainable income, and then I say to them why you need both. This is a little bit educational, and they're thinking, oh, I might learn something here. Okay, so that's about money, the lure of money. So you can manifest this type of a theme in all sorts of different ways, the lure of money theme. But that's just one example. All right, the next one is where Well, actually, I'm going to show you the next two because they form part of a series. So the first one is the one at the bottom. I want to write a new ebook, but I need ideas. Can you help? This one is called Call for Help. Okay? Call for help. That's the category. All right? So that works well. You ask somebody for help. Ask the people on your list for some help. I would like your opinion on something. Okay? And it could be anything. This one was about an ebook that I'm thinking of writing, and I wanted some ideas as to the subject matter because I'm not far off finishing my current book and looking to the future thinking, well, okay, what should I write about for my next book? Okay, so I thought, okay, well, I'll ask my list. I'll ask my subscribers. And then I did a follow-up email just letting people know what came out of it. So I asked people for some ideas, and then the next email I reported to them the results of those ideas. Okay, just a few more. We'll just flick to the next page. All right, building a real business or just a glorified sales rep. I think that one comes under provocation. Okay, it's a little bit provocative there. It's a little bit aggressive. Works well. I get some of my highest open rates with a headline like that. All right, next one. Skeptic says I'm full of it. Skeptic says I'm full of hot air. Who is right? All right, now this one is a curiosity getter. So using curiosity once again, they're thinking, oh, geez, I wonder what this skeptic has said about Kim Willis. Right? So, and then I'm posing the question, who is right? Skeptic says I'm full of hot air. Who is right? All right. So a little bit of curiosity there, a little bit of provocation as well. Full of hot air. Another good one is interviews. Just if you interview somebody, the one above it is, this is an educational type of a post. So I combine education with provocation. All right, investing in someone else's value rather than your own. Why it's wrong. That's provocation, isn't it? Why it's wrong. It's basically challenging people and saying, hey, if this is you, you're wrong. So you better read this. And then the one under it is an interview. So I'm not going to dress it up too much because I know that interviews are popular. All right, I just wish I had time to do more. I need to sort of allocate more time. If you haven't tried interviewing somebody, maybe you should do that because it will help to elevate your position in the thinking of your subscribers, as well as giving you another good opportunity to present good content to people. So I interviewed a champion blogger called Ryan Bidoff, who has a website called Blogging from Paradise, and I didn't try and be tricky or clever or anything like that with the subject line. I just put it in there. I interviewed champion blogger Ryan Bidoff. But the reason why I'm showing this to you is that I think it's a great idea to interview people. Interview people who are as successful as you, or if you're just starting out, more successful than you, no problem. I'm open to interviews. I've been interviewed recently, several times in fact. So I'm open to doing interviews. And you should be open to doing the interviews because it will definitely help to position you as being some kind of authority, even though you're not the subject of the interview. It's a funny thing how it works. Some of it rubs off onto you. Okay, some of their success rubs off onto you, at least in the minds of your subscribers. Look, we could keep going on. Here's another one. Here's another idea, actually, and this is just a no-frills headline, a bit like the previous one. It just says it as it is. Your regular marketing skinny, number 14, pure content. Because I am a blogger. If you're not a blogger, this won't be too relevant to you. But I am an avid content creator, so I create content on my blog, and then every couple of weeks, what I'll do is I'll compile the what I think are the most interesting blog pieces into a skinny. All right, your regular marketing skinny, and then I just send that out to people. That's another. So I'm giving you an idea for content here, just like I did with the previous one. But I don't try and be clever with that one. It's just pretty well straightforward. Your regular marketing skinny. People are either into it or they're not. But I do get a reasonable number of people opening it and going through that marketing skinny email. All right, a few more. How to spot an internet scam. Watch live as I thwart a dastardly scammer. All right, using a little bit of humor there, a little bit of provocation. How to spot an internet scam. What's that all about? Okay. So what's the friggin' product? See the next one? Because that's basically what somebody said to me. Oh, you're writing about all these different issues, but what's the friggin' product that you're selling? All right, so I thought, okay, I'm going to feature this guy in an email, and I put the headline there. What's the friggin' product? Next one, $1.25 haircut. Shorn like a sheep in Cambodian clip joint. This is using humor. All right, hope you get that. All right, here's another one. Using humor again. I do like to use humor if I can. This one, horse handler hoofing it to make an online buck. Giddy up. So using humor, but also promising. It's got a make money theme in there as well. So combining humor with make money. All right, they're the two categories. To make an online buck, but dressing it up as being something a little bit humorous. Here's another one. This is a make money theme. How I leveraged an existing skill to make $500,000. You haven't made $500,000 yet from a particular strategy. Okay, well, don't use it. But I'm just giving you the heads up. Okay, here's another one. This is call me. All right, I just put those two words in there. I got a really lot of opens. Call me. That was it. And then the subject line, that was the subject line, and then it was just, so this is what we might call a command. Okay, so that's the category there, a command. I think I'm making this up as I go along, but let's call it that. Command, call me. And then the content was just, hey, I haven't spoken to you. I haven't heard from you for a while. What's going on? Okay, look, you can call me, here's my number, or you can fill out this little survey. Let me know where you're at. So I included a link to a survey. Worked great. Another one, give me some love. That one worked huge. Give me some love. Yeah. And then same sort of thing in terms of the content. Oh, gee, I haven't heard from you for a while. Well, I'd love to know what's going on. So I'll use that one. In fact, it's about time I use that one again. Give me some love. I must be getting close to it. And the call me one. This one here, this is sort of the money theme, but also a little bit provocative, isn't it? So using provocation. Most people are too busy making a living to make any real money. All right, so there you have it there. But call me, that's a command. Give me some love, that's a command. And that one had a huge open rate. Give me some love. So you can steal that one. All right, this one at the bottom here, blog multiple entry points to get more leads, pure content. That's another good one. So that's another category, pure content. And tell people in the subject line, because people, yeah, they like the idea that it's not going to be, aggressively promotional. It's pure content. And I telegraph to them what the content is going to be, blog multiple entry points to get more leads. Well, anything to do with getting more leads is always of interest to marketers. All right, well, I'm going to leave you with just a few more here. Play on words. Sue and Jerry can. That's a play on the phrase jerry can. You heard of that phrase? Jerry can is a particular type of can. It's a physical thing that you put petrol in or something like that. I think they call them jerry cans. And this is about a couple successful marketers called Sue and Jerry. So I just thought, oh, well, Sue and Jerry can. But a little side project made them an extra, whatever it was, $9,000 in a day. So Sue and Jerry can. So that was a play on words, a little bit humorous, a little bit wry. People think, oh, that's funny. What's that about? This one here, I love this one. Little sister given leg up by big brother. This is a story, a simple, and you can see it there, in brackets, a simple decision changed her life forever. Yes, this is about a lady. She's an actress and a singer, and she's Filipino, and her name is Little Sister. Her nickname is Little Sister, and she got her start on that hideous TV show called Big Brother, right? So I read her story. I found it quite inspiring, and I thought it would be good for my subscribers to learn about it, and then I could link it to my business message. And so I thought, well, what should the headline be here? So, okay, she got her start in Big Brother. She's known as Little Sister. Well, that's pretty obvious. Let's just do a play on words. Little Sister given leg up by Big Brother. Bang. That's it. Another good one. This one worked well. Go bananas, monkey brain. Right? As we got curiosity working there, we got provocation, and we got humor. Ideal. Lost my wife, my business, my home, and my mind. But wait, there's more. Okay, that's a part of my own story. I got a good open rate with that one as well, because it hinted at some pain, some vulnerability, and people are always into that. There's another one. Jokers, chokers, gropers, mopers, and no hopers. What's that about? Well, a bit of provocation there, but also humor. So combining both, and then, you know, they read the email. They're much more likely to read the email. Bit of provocation with this one. Mr. Angry vomits in my general direction. But I think it's funny as well. What's that about? Oh, it's about some idiot that sent me a nasty email. So I decided to write about it because I couldn't care less about them. It just doesn't worry me. So I like to make fun of them. All right, folks. Hope you got something out of that. I'm sure you did. If you didn't, I'd have to test your pulse. Maybe you're not breathing. All right, this is Kim Willis. Bye for now.